Why don't you give us like in-depth summary of like the three main types?
Sure. And what's really cool about it too is that it gives you a quick way to use your entire chart instead of, because
Right.
as people start to get into astrology, they're like, my sun is in this and my moon, but I forgot where my Jupiter is. And it really kind of puts the whole chart in a blender. So you have the main essence of it. So the innovators are mostly cardinal signs. So those are the signs that start every season. And as a result, innovators are the trailblazers, the pioneers, the people who are the first to do things and often living a little bit in the future, like ahead of the curve and breaking through. So their charts are mostly Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. The authorities are more of the traditionalists. Their signs, their charts are mostly fixed signs. Those are the mid-season signs. So they kind of have to hold things down. They are sentimental, they honor the past. They really are concerned with things being like the best of the best and rated and, peer reviewed. They want things to be done in this historical way. And then the mavens are like the messengers, the buzzers. They're mostly mutable signs and they live in the moment. They're the fun friend who will just come spontaneously, go get French fries and drinks with you at 11 p.m. and know where to go for
Or
that.
AM.
AM, whatever, anytime. They like to move around,
Yeah, very flexible, free.
free cheerleaders,
Life of the
champions.
party.
Yeah.
That's how it works. We also add the elements if you want fire, earth, air, and water. So we have another layer. We found that there are 84 types in total if you add in the dominant elements. So we wound up being water innovators because our chart, even though we're Sagittarius sun, most of our chart is water. Sagittarius is a
Okay.
mutable fire sign, but most of our chart is cardinal and water. So that's why we're also very different. So we're the tide turners. What is Eileen, Ophi?
You're an air innovator, which funny enough is mostly like Libra, and you're a Libra. That doesn't
Yeah,
always
I have
happen.
3 planets in Libra.
You have 3 in Libra, but then you have a lot in the other ones too. You have
Capricorn, I think.
Capricorn. Yep, you've got 3 in Capricorn. That's where the 6 come from. So you're the air innovator.
I think I have very little water in my chart.
Pluto and Scorpio.
Yep. 2 fire, 3 earth, 6 air, and 2 water. So when you look at it that way, we have a calculator at astrostyle.com/IM where you can see your whole chart as like a spreadsheet or like a diagram. So when people see their chart that way, like it's really, really good for introducing friends who have been a little resistant to astrology. Because one thing we discovered is sometimes people get overwhelmed by seeing all the symbols and everything.
Yes.
There are those who are like, ooh, I want to know what this is. Let me dive in. And then other people, their brains reject new information at first because they get intimidated. So when it's shown to them as like percentages and a grid and a spreadsheet, they're like, I've seen this before. So
Yeah.
it's really been embraced by a lot of companies and professionals and that kind of
Oh,
thing who are
interesting.
I know. So, yes, you are the air innovator, and we gave all 84 types a name. The wind shifter, an inventive and adaptable visionary who skillfully navigates change and creates new possibilities. Sounds like you.
Yeah, I think this is brilliant because what you have made a new personality test. It's so
Yeah.
much more accessible than trying to memorize all the signs and understanding the details. And you're right, the astrology does drive a lot of people away. But when you present something like this, anyone can be open to it.
Well, that's what we have found. Yeah.
I think that it's kind of been I don't know if you found this too, Eileen, but like since astrology kind of exploded in popularity, it has polarized people too a little bit. Ones who don't understand the lingo quickly have been really more resistant to it. It's
Yeah.
such an amazing tool. So we've like brought people back over to the cosmic side by like sharing the system with them.
Oh, totally.
It's a good time. Like AI is simplifying things, Chat GPT is, so why not simplify astrology too?
So, can you tell us a little bit more about how knowing your I am archetype can help us in our career or relationships, for example?
So in our book, The Astrology Advantage, we have a large amount of it about how to work with the other types. And I've actually been going in, we've like consulted with groups, small teams and large ones on how to use all of their I am archetypes to work to their strengths and also work with each other's, because that's one of the biggest issues right now in relationships, family, and workplaces is that we are now a culture of individuals and we all like have been trained to like know ourselves and be self-aware and advocate for our boundaries and this. Well, that's great, except along comes someone else who's operating completely on their, on their rules and ways of being. So we have to find a way to overlap and interact and collaborate and coexist while still being true to ourselves. And so I think a lot of people are unhappy in relationships and work situations in particular because they can't bring their full selves. They feel like they have to adapt to this kind of like this is the average way that we're going to do. We've averaged it out, and this is the way we all have to do stuff. So some people are happy, but most people are suffering and miserable and resentful instead of engaged with life and all the hours of the day that they're spending on these things. So it's designed to, as we say, to help people become more of who they are, not less, and really be part of the moments of their lives too. And like Mel Robbins' book Let Them is one of the big bestsellers now, where she's like, don't try to change people, just let them be who they are. This is kind of an astrological let them. Like, all
Yeah.
right, the maven needs to chit chat while the authority needs quiet to work. Fine. Let them chit chat over there. Don't try to shush them.
In the book, we have very practical advice. For example, the way that each of the IAMs sets up their office and manages their time. Like the innovators tend to need a very large desk and have their kind of their main space, but can also take over every surface in the house and turn it into a workstation. The authorities like to have a very clear separation between their work and their other areas of their life. And then mavens, we've talked about the notorious maven mess. They will like leave piles and they really do well when they have a good shelving system because they wear a lot of different hats and are always moving from one thing to another. So even in terms of love, we call the innovator the idealist. It's like you become like, I want the best, the most ultimate relationship, and this is the future we'll create. Where the authority is the attacher. They want a very solid partner. And the maven is the mirror. They need someone to constantly be in communication, texting back and forth, mirroring them. So the way you move through, we break the book down into areas of life: time management, communication, work, travel. So every aspect of life is colored by your I am archetype. And understanding that can help you just plan the ideal circumstances for any part of your life.